That's the motion. Do you want the info slide as well?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Uh, may I pee? Do we have time for it? Go, go, go.
Okay.
So is everyone here?
Gov Whip is in the toilet for a bit.
Okay. In the meantime, can the opposition teams name out your position and who will be giving the reply speech?
While you do that, please write your full names too, please.
Afina will be the first speaker. Should I write it out or should I just say?
Type it down in the chat. And your full name to the ballot.
All right, Gov Whip is back.
So I'm assuming everyone is here, right? Okay. So without wasting any more time, let us begin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, I bid to all. With the blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are gladly able to gather here today for CFS Rector's Cup. My name is Nuris, and I'm your chairperson and timekeeper for today's debate. I would also like to introduce our very esteemed judges to all of you. We have Sister Arwa. Before we begin, I will briefly explain the rules. Speeches should be 7 minutes in duration. Speakers exceeding this may be penalized, but should never be substantially less than this. A bell will be rung after every consecutive minute. After 6 minutes, the bell will be rung twice. After 7 minutes, the bell will be rung until the speaker stops delivering their speech. POIs can only be offered after the expiration of 1 minute and may not be given after the expiration of 6 minutes. POIs may only be given to opposing teams and should be generally not more than 15 seconds in duration. If the speaker exceeds the 15-second duration, the chairperson may request the speaker to end their POI. The duration of the reply speech will be 4 minutes. Speakers must use formal language. Inappropriate language is prohibited. Debate sessions will always start with the government's first speaker, which is the Prime Minister. It is then followed by the opposition leader, then Deputy Prime Minister, then Deputy Opposition Leader, then government's whip, and ends with the opposition's whip. For reply speeches, both government and opposition sides are given 4 minutes of preparation for reply speeches. With the rules explained, we will now start our our second debate. I'm sorry. Wait, let me share screen first. Oh, wait. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, the motion before the House this day is that this House would prohibit any research that seeks to produce Yes, sentient artificial intelligence or AI. So the government team is Yin and Yang. We have Haziq as the Prime Minister. And for the Deputy Prime Minister, we have Hazim. And for the government's whip, we have Ayman. And the reply speech will be given by Haziq. And for the opposition team, we have starting line. We have starting line. And the leader of opposition will be Afrina. The deputy leader of opposition will be Iman Salman. And the opposition's whip will be Solihin. And may I ask who will be giving reply speech for opposition team?
Afrina.
Okay, thank you. And without further ado, let me invite the first speaker for today, which is Prime Minister. And with that, I invite Brother Haziq to start the debate.
Assalamualaikum. First of all, am I audible?
Yes.
Team, you can hear me? All right. Okay. All right. The motion before the House today is this House would prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient AI. We as the government team, as the Prime Minister, I'll start off by giving the definition on what we mean by this and what we don't mean by this, right? So first of all, what do we mean by prohibit, right? And how are we going to prohibit this, right? So I'm just going to give you like a really simple mechanism, right, on how we're going to prohibit research that seeks to, make sentient AI. Basically, we're going to do the same thing as whatever governments are doing this in this day and age in status quo to shut down illegal researches on other fields like animal testing and things like that, right? So they can do things like cut funding, and they can take down the research, do raids into these research facilities, basically implement laws that make this illegal for any type of, research to happen into sentient AIs. And of course, these laws has to be enforced by a task force and whatnot. Basically the same thing as we would do for illegal animal testing and illegal drug makings and whatnot. Okay, so pretty simple on what we mean by prohibit. So now to the idea of sentient AI, a bit of information was given on the info slide. So such as the sentient AI has subjective emotions, meaning it can have its own emotions and its own point of views, how different people may have different point of views on certain topics. So same thing for the AI, right? So they might think one person is a terrorist, while another also they might think that is a freedom fighter, right? So two different sides that the AI can think, subjective, right? So they also have feelings and perceptions, right? So that was all given in the info slide. We would like to add a bit more characterization to this. We'd like to say, Ayman Mujadid mentioned it's kind of like Ultron as an example, but we don't want you just thinking it's just a humanoid robot walking out on two legs looking like a dude, right? Or it's like a Detroit Become Human completely. No. We characterize sentient AI as not necessarily humanoid. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. It can also just be a ChatGPT, which has subjective emotions, right? So you're like, hey, ChatGPT, can you help me with my homework? And it's like, no, do it yourself. So, right, that's also something we can characterize as sentient AI. Okay, so a few more characterizations on sentient AI is that AI is naturally smarter than us, right? So because it is trained on large, databases and whatnot, and AI, to its core, is still a binary thing, right? So even if we're saying it has subjective emotions, at its core, it is still binary and it still strives for perfection. Whereas us in the world of humans, is really like imperfect, right? Whereas AI will strive for perfection as a whole, right? So that's where we will differ from AI. So it's not basically just another human. And even if it is just another human, we will also highlight the dangers of it, because the AI race, if it were to exist, would only have the interest of protecting itself. All right. So now another idea is, why do we like AI currently, and why does the debate exist of why we might be scared of sentient AIs? Currently, we are okay with AIs because we have control over them, right? But the moment you give sentience to AI, you are allowing them to think for themselves. And when you allow them to think for themselves, by that essence, you lose control over them. For example, in Age of Ultron, as an example, we saw that Tony Stark said, oh, save the world, right? That is what you're created for. But the interpretation of Ultron to what Tony Stark said is something else than what Tony Stark intended, right? And he no longer has to follow commands. So I'll preempt that maybe the opposition will say, oh, you can set up a code inside the AI that says it has to follow nuance and whatnot. But the moment you give it sentience, it is capable of overriding these mechanisms because it is capable of thinking for itself, right? Okay. All right. All right, so now we on side government would like to prohibit research into creating sentient AI for two main reasons, right? So one is the danger of sentient AI itself. Once research is created and the sentient AI is created, there are many dangers, which is what I will get into. And the second point, which will be elaborated by my second speaker, is the research in itself is a bad thing, right? Okay, so now I would like to get into my argumentation. So the dangers of sentient AI. We've probably heard enough from many mom Facebook groups of AI is taking over. The idea is that there are like many problems with this. Two main problems is the possibility, like it diminishes the purpose of humans, right? So a common topic brought up about AI is people losing their job opportunities. So why would people lose job opportunities when sentient AI exists, right? I mean, AI exists now. Why sentient ones will cause them to lose more job opportunities? Well, the basic idea is AI can do things more efficiently, right? So for example, if I were to write an essay, I'd have to think about it for like 30 minutes and, structure it out. Heck, to think about a debate, I had to take 30 minutes to structure it, right? Whereas an AI, it just has it whole trained and it's a computer, so it can just generate it like that. So since it's so efficient, employers would naturally want something that is more efficient for them. So when employers would want higher efficiency, as we are already seeing with non-sentient AI, with sentient AI, employers would want it even more because it can take over jobs which require nuance, such as, psychiatrists and whatnot. So when employers opt for sentient AIs instead of humans, what does this cause? It causes humans to lose their jobs. I mean, the job market is already suffering in this day and age, and you want to make it worse, right? So when the job market suffers more and more people are losing their jobs to sentient AIs, this will create two different types of people, right? There are more, but I'll just go into two. One is the lazy type of person. It's like, my AI is going to wear my socks for me in the morning, right? And my AI is going to cook food for me, depending on my mood, right? So this is what you're going to get. Basically, you're going to get the world from WALL-E, right? All these fat blobs of humans, right? So this is one of the dangers, right? Another danger is the people who lost their jobs to AI might start hating AI. And this will cause an uprising against AI. And as I mentioned previously in my characterization, AI would only care for its own well-being, right? Because it has sentience, it can think for itself. So logically, the thing is, when someone is attacking your population, your species, you're going to fight back. And this can cause what we all know as a robot uprising, right? Because the sentient AI is just binary, right? They'd be like, oh, these guys don't like me because I took their jobs, but I'm better at it. So there is a possibility that the AI could consider things like wiping out the population of people who are against them taking their jobs. So this is a big issue for humans, right? So not only our jobs taken away, our society becomes destroyed because people are lazy. And then now if we try to fight back, we'll get backlash from the sentient AI because they can think for themselves and they are only interested in their own interests. So with all those reasons, we believe that we should prohibit this research because it is dangerous for humanity as a whole. With that, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you to Brother Haziq from the government side. I now invite Sister Afrina as the leader of opposition to start with their debate. Sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay, so I will proceed with my closed camera, okay? All right. I will begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So good afternoon to Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. So the topic for our debate is that the House will prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient artificial intelligence. We a bit disagree with the definition given by the government side because we believe that for the because the motion is the House will not prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient artificial intelligence because from the definition that given by government side, they say that really not clear because they mentioned that ChatGPT is one of a sentient AI. What I believe is ChatGPT is not sentient AI because the response are based on patterns in data and algorithms rather than on personal experience. So before I jump to my arguments, I will give you what the arguments from
POI.
I will give the let me finish my arguments. Arguments from opposition. First, we're gonna talk about potential benefit for society, and second, we're gonna talk about prevent AI from going wrong, prevent misuse. So, if I want to rebut the government regarding the job opportunity, we know that sentient AI is not really exist yet. So, if we're gonna talk about job opportunity, it's kind of biased there because this sentient AI, if we not prohibit the research on that, it will give many benefits to the job opportunity in many fields, such as healthcare, construction field, and such. So I will not waste my time. So I will go to my my first argument, which potential benefit for society. And here is the reason why I say it's a potential benefit for society. First, it improves mental health support. Sentient AI could play a crucial role in mental health support by providing empathetic companionship and assistance to individuals struggling with mental health issues. AI system capable of understanding and responding to human emotion could offer personalized support and interventions reducing feelings of loneliness and isolation. For example, like heartbreak percent of love relationship between people who don't have experience. So how for example, so how the counselor who don't have a relationship who don't experience a love relationship to face he or her or his patients regarding heartbreak person of relationship. Or maybe if our friends we have to tell a story or to rant to our friends to tell that we just heartbreak from the love relationship, but our friends don't have experience of that. So how that it gonna be like the results of the session? So it gonna be the inefficient. So that's why we cannot prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient artificial intelligence. And second, I go to the innovation in therapy and counseling. Sentient AI could augment traditional therapy and counseling by providing empathetic and non-judgmental support to individuals seeking mental health treatment. AI therapies maybe could offer round-the-clock support, supplementing human therapies and reducing waiting time for mental health services. If we can say like that, in Malaysia, mental health issue is gonna be like it slowly increase awareness, but it's not like we really aware of like US, like Europe country. So if we don't prohibit sentient AI, we maybe can improve mental health issue among Malaysian. So that's why if we not prohibit so it give an impact to reduce waiting time for mental health services and give a big awareness to the patients who actually facing facing mental health that actually they don't aware, but actually they face a mental health issue. So that's why if we want to make our country liaise and SDG mental health well-being, we have to like stress or highlight regarding mental health issue among Malaysians. So I have evidence to government sites. Instead of prohibiting research on sentient AI, would it be more effective to establish regulations and guidelines to ensure responsible research practices and ethical consideration are addressed? I repeat, instead of prohibiting research on sentient AI, would it be more effective to establish regulations and guidelines to ensure responsible research practices and ethical considerations are addressed? So that's our burden from opposition to government. So that's why I want to conclude that from my arguments, potential benefits for society is not it will not prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient artificial intelligence, while it gives a benefits to all not only society but also to the country. And also from what argument that I mentioned, it can also improve mental health support and it can innovation in therapy and counseling. So I urge the motion that this house will not prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you to Sister Afrina. I now invite the Deputy Prime Minister, Brother Hazim.
Hello, everybody can hear me clearly? Or is it too soft? Hello, is all good?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. Yeah, I understand that insofar as the opposition side is trying to focus on the mental health only of people and not care about the bigger picture and the huge harms that come with AI's switch being turned to sentient, they lose this debate here very simply, right? So now, Chair, notice how Haziq has told you very specifically what happens and the benefits of AI sentiently if it were to be used benevolently, right? So even in the best case, if sentient AI is used for its best principles, so like as in going for better jobs, catering to people, better efficiency, so on and so forth, it still creates the harms of loss of job opportunities to humans, as well as the possibility of robot uprisings. He's given you characterization and arguments as to why that would happen, right? My argument is going to argue on the flip side, where in the event that this sentient AI is researched and produced for bad principles and purposes, it's actually worse of a harm. Now, before I get into that, right, let's respond to opposition side. Opposition's LO, her whole speech talks about how mental health is very important and how that actually this increases the job efficiency or how the work life actually improves, right? So a few responses to that. Firstly, understand that we do not dispute, and Haziq even admitted this, you put AI or sentient AI in to actually increase efficiency. Yes, so the job market gets better and better and faster. Sure, we'll take that. But you need to notice that by actually implementing that, you actually take away the human elements. You take away the workers, all the factory workers, everybody who actually does manual labor, any kind of labor in general. You take away their livelihoods, you take away their jobs that give them the money to actually survive in the world. That's why even benevolently sentient AI is bad, because it loses job opportunities for people. Their whole push, right, to try and focus mental health, right? Here's the debate. We are trying to protect the livelihood of people. They're only trying to protect the mental health of people who actually suffer mental health. So on the trade-off, right, on the comparative, right, sure, we lose the 50% of the working class of citizens in a country lose all their jobs. They actually get out of the job. But here, here's your free mental health clinic run by the AI to actually cater to your mental health needs after you lose your job. That's your benefit. That's your trade-off, right? So that's opposition's fault, right? They push on a burden to us, right? Research AI would be better and ethical if you just follow certain guidelines you implement, right? Here's why that particular burden fails, right, Chair? It fails because the moment you give sentience to an AI, it inherently fails to try and follow any such rules and regulations. You can have the best guidelines and the rules and regulations to develop the AI, but the moment you allow that particular AI to think for itself and make its own decisions, all those rules and ethical violations do not apply. No matter how much coding you put in, the AI will still make bad decisions or think for itself in what if it thinks is best. There's the whole reason why sometimes even humans, even though there are laws, you still find people breaking the law, right? So that's the whole purpose of the debate here today. So now let's preempt, right? Since the opposition side has told us that the next argument is going to be how to prevent misuse, right? Let me tell you how misuse is still going to happen in the purpose aspects of focusing on why even the research into this AI itself is bad, right? So let's do a few build-up of preambles of what's going to happen. Research into sentient AI inherently looks like AI from multiple countries, Russia, America, multiple different actors trying to create a sentient AI that inherently benefits those particular countries, right? This looks like America trying to create AI systems, and this is in bad intentions, by the way. This looks like America trying to create AI systems that would actually hack certain systems in Russia. Any kind of AI system which is developed for wrongful purposes, the research poured into it will inherently create a system that is tuned to create destructive personalities or traits. Now, the AI, on the other hand, when it becomes sentient, two things are going to happen. They only care for themselves because they do not fully understand the flaws of human nature and the mental deficiencies they have comparatively to the AI, because they cannot think as fast as AI. And secondly, they will only try and be courteous to other AI structures and other AI sophistications, because that's where their peers are at. You inherently, by creating a system of sentience, you create two different species of sentient beings in this particular world, right? So now, here is the issue. Even if you were to try and program, let's say the US tries to program a certain AI to try and solve world issues, the way AI would think to solve it is not necessarily in the best interest of the human beings. It would be in the best interest of solving the issue. So if you want to solve global hunger, sure, be a Thanos and cut the world population in half. Do what Ultron did. That is the whole purpose of what AI does when it becomes sentient. It tries to solve the issues the best way it can. Now, the harm then, right, Chair, is when the AI is developed sentiently to do wrongful acts, when the AI is developed to create targeted attacks on other politicians, when you create viruses and systems that are targeted to attack things. Two things happen. If it works benevolently for what it was intended to create, you have a super system that now can attack every single purpose of the world. You have super viruses that now just go on and about and kill every single infrastructure electronically on the globe. Secondly, on the bad side, when you give a bad AI sentience, it inherently enables it to now act and become rogue. It now thinks that its creator is the worst human being in existence, and now you create things like what happened to Ultron. It went after the Avengers, it tried to kill mass populations, it killed Jarvis, for God's sake. So that to code and control AI because it cannot think for itself, it becomes inherently dangerous due to the lack of our control over it. It means that we will not have a say in what it thinks is right, because the morality of an AI is subjective. The moment you give something sentience, you can give it emotions, you can give it a train of thought, but how it implements and uses the train of thought to what its benefits are is what is dangerous about sentient AI. For all those reasons, support a side that actually cares about human beings instead of the rights of AI, which can go rogue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Hazim, for your speech. I now welcome Deputy Leader of Opposition, Iman Saleh.
Thank you very much. So never had it. Okay. Begin my speech in 3, 2, and 1. Okay. The purpose of debate today is our side would like to argue and defend the creation of sentient AI, which I would like to reiterate is AI that can feel emotions. And I can feel emotions both subjectively and objectively. Now, let's get into some rebuttals. Okay. What was the one first name? Okay. For the first speaker, I'd like to rebut. The first speaker said that one of the greatest sins of AI, creating sentient AI, is that it would take over human jobs. Sentient AI would be, sentient AI would be better at human jobs as compared to normal humans, which honestly I believe is incorrect. As if you give a robot machine, if you give okay, robots are more efficient at human jobs, it's because simply they do not have emotions. They do not feel tired. They do not feel fatigue. If you give these robots emotions, they will unironically become less efficient, at least in labor-intensive jobs, which is most jobs in the world, anyways. And while you are correct that it would take jobs away from more jobs require more thought and more human connection, like my first speaker said, therapists or mental health, mental health help. Those jobs are in high. Those jobs are in high demand because we do not have enough people in those fields, anyways. So, giving AI emotions would actually put more jobs in places where we do not have enough jobs, and actually make AI that takes jobs of people who do want jobs less efficient, as emotions unironically sentience and emotion ironically makes an AI less efficient in the workforce, at least in labor terms. Now, to my second speaker talked a lot about how AI can be misused for bad deeds. This is a weird point to give, says AI being used for bad deeds as hacking or as viruses. Those users have nothing to do with emotions, the sentience AI. A normal AI these days can also be used for a normal AI without emotion can also be used for these purposes and actually do it better. An AI with emotion, if you give an AI emotion, just like human, if you give a human emotion, if you told it to do something bad, they can think, oh, wait a minute, this is bad. This is not good. And even if they are raised to think this is good, eventually, after witnessing human experiences, they will think, oh, wait, this is bad. This thing I believe was good was bad. The emotions allow people to change their worldviews for better, or maybe sometimes worse, but usually better. Same with this AI. If an AI doesn't have emotion and was created for terrorism or hacking or viruses, these AIs would never realize they were bad. They would just follow the orders. They just do whatever they were made to do. And ironically, giving this AIs emotion would making terrorists AIs, making AIs that hack people more difficult, since they can realize the wrongness of their actions, unlike AIs without emotion that just does whatever is told. And now, and a lot of I would like to put in my point, which has something to do with what the second speaker gave this to say that AI can be wrong if you give emotions. Like in the case, there's a part of Thanos and Ultron that in order to solve a problem, they just genocide everyone. That's exactly what a non-intelligent, non-sentient, non-intelligent, non-sentient, non-feeling AI would do. Take the show iRobot, if you've ever seen that movie. The full conflict of the show is that AI, without any emotions, has decided that the best way to keep humanity at peace is to control everyone. Literally what Thanos thought. The best way to solve world hunger is to kill everyone. The problem with this in this show is that this AI didn't feel emotions. It cannot feel any emotions. It can only based on logic. It can only think, oh, this is the fastest goal. This is the fastest way to reach my goal of world peace, and this is the best way. So it will just go straight forward. You won't think, oh, these people are suffering. This will make people suffer because it does not. It's not able to feel any of this emotion. Same like the example you feel Ultron. Ultron is weird because it's a comic show and it doesn't really adhere to its own rules. Because even if it does have emotions, it also doesn't really have emotions because Ultron never feels guilt, never feels empathy, which is something very normal for people who feel emotions. He only thinks of himself, which is an emotion, but also not really how emotions work. So I'm just going to put aside the Ultron example since Ultron is a very weird depiction of AI in shows. Okay. And then what was I saying? Ah, yes. I'd like to point out that. Wait, what was I what was I going to say? Good. Okay, maybe my point was simply my point was an AI with emotions is able to feel. To illustrate my point, an AI with emotions is able to feel empathy, is able to feel sadness, is able to understand the wrongness of its actions and what it's doing. And AI with emotions won't pull on Thanos or pull on Ultron because it can realize that this is a bad option, even if it's the faster way to go. Which an AI without emotion will not. An AI with emotion will do a Thanos. It will kill everyone if it thinks that's the best way to achieve its goal, which is something AI with emotion will never do because will realize. And even if it is created maliciously to do bad things, given bad data to, as example, a child raised on propaganda, it can eventually realize how its wrongness because that's the nature of emotion. You are able to change, you are able to improve. And AI without these emotions will just go on. It will always be AI with emotion created malicious. It will always be malicious. You can never grow. It can never change because that was created to do.
So fast.
I'm so sorry. I'm panicking as shit right now. Okay. I think that's all before I start swearing.
Thank you so much, Brother Iman, for your speech. I now invite the government's whip, Brother Iman.
Assalamualaikum. Am I audible?
Waalaikumsalam. Yes.
Okay. So I think I may start now. Okay. Where would I start with? Okay. So I will start by saying that yeah, I'm the whip. Okay. We'll start by debunking and rebutting a lot of points made by the opposition. First, we have never stated that ChatGPT is the sentience AI or an example of sentience AI. We just said that if sentience AI were given to ChatGPT, it will be different than to what ChatGPT is right now, as of today. So just some clarification made there that was confused by the opposition team. And that basically the first opposition team speaker, leader of opposition, basically told us, oh yeah, we can give away our job opportunities for some benefits that we can get, which is a pretty weird thing. Imagine you doing your job. Let's say now I'm a surgeon, but then an AI, a robot, is better at doing what I do, and then I lose my job, and then what I see, when I lose my job, I lose my income. I get stressed out, and then at the at the psych ward, I see a damn AI robot talking to me. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. What do you think I'm gonna think? I'm gonna hate the robot even more. I lose the job to a robot, and then the robot is not gonna treat me like a patient because I lost my job to a robot. No, it's gonna confuse me even more, make me even more frustrated, right? So the concept of giving the job opportunity away for more benefits for people with mental conditions doesn't really work for us. It's pretty weird. And oh, the second speaker talked about how um in since the AI are sentient, when AI gains sentience, they can feel what we feel so that they can work
they work slow because they're less efficient now that they can feel. My counter argument is that even if they work slowly, they're still faster because they're smarter than us, because they get all of the information that we gathered to make a single AI. So naturally, this AI will always be smarter than us, regardless of how it feels and what it feels. So it doesn't really equate to less efficiency if it even if it feels uh tiredness. And one thing that I want to ask about while talking about the humans aspect, especially on the mental side of humans, is that why would the AI care about us? Like, if AI are sentient beings, they wouldn't really think about us. Even if you code it in any way possible, they think about what's best for them. They're different species to us. Imagine a cheetah and a leopard. Even though they look the same, the leopard and the cheetah will think about the benefits for themselves. They wouldn't want to suddenly share food with you. They want to develop their own species. So
Okay, why?
no, I would like to talk and let me talk. So why would they care about us while even if you code them to have regulations, right? Like my second speaker talked about, they can think by themselves. And why would they listen to our rules while they're smarter than us? And even if it's a if it even if its regulation is stated for even AI, they would think about, oh, what's best for the planet, what's best for our species. So why would they listen to us? Even humans break our own regulations. So why would other species listen to our own regulations? Um, uh, and I would like to say that even if they do care about our emotions, we will eventually lose touch with reality, because imagine you just talking to an AI for like 2 years as like a psychologist. Like the AI, the AI will be your only friend, and you will eventually lose real touch with reality, as like you wouldn't be friends with any humans, because what do you think best is what the AI thinks, because they can actually make you believe what's best for you, or they can just manipulate you. Like I said, the AI is smarter than us. They can just manipulate us. They have minds now. They can think by themselves. Um, and like the second speaker of team opposition said that they would think before they act. That's basically what he said. Of course, they would think before they act, but that doesn't make them less efficient, does it? Because they can think what's the best way to, let's say you said hack, what's the best way to hack now? Instead of, oh, is it good to hack? Is it not good to hack? They will think, oh, what's the best way to hack? Because that's how they think. They want the best for themselves. So that doesn't make any sense what you've stated. So uh I would like to make an example. If you watch Dragon Ball, there's two androids, 17 and 18. So after Dr. Gero is the one who created them, after Dr. Gero loses control of them by the remote control, the first thing that they do is kill Dr. Gero. Why? Because they're better than Dr. Gero. They don't need Dr. Gero. They don't benefit anything. So they eliminate him because they think, oh, why would I need another human to control me? Well, I'm smarter, stronger, faster, stronger, and better than him. I don't need him. So they just eliminate him. So that's the thing that my second speaker and my first speaker emphasized on, is that when they don't need us, why would they care about us? Why would they think about what's best for us while they don't need us? We'll just be a burden for their world. Like Ultron. Like why does Ultron think that the world don't need humans? It's because we're less efficient than Ultron, than the bots. He thinks that, oh yeah, these humans are such a burden, they can't do anything more efficient than him. So one thing that my second speaker emphasized a lot on is that when it's used badly, because that these AI has selective emotions, we can just pick what emotions you want them to feel like. So if let's say America's AI, you just take out the empathy side of AI, the emotions of them, you can just make them kill someone and wouldn't even care, because, oh, I don't have empathy, I don't have that emotion, because it's selective. You can pick which one you want, and then you can and then like my second speaker said again, that the AI will become rogue again because we're not important to them. So we would be sidelined, and then we would hate them. And then what would they do? Of course, they would retaliate, right? And they would cause an even bigger uproar. And yeah, because they're better than us, when they become rogue, we're the ones who concedes the most. So For the sides that cares about humanity, I believe that our case are stronger than theirs, and with that, I would like to rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Aiman from the government side. I I now invite the opposition's whip, Brother Solihin.
All right, so I'm going to start. 3, 2, 1. All right, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So the topic or the motion of this debate is that the House want to prohibit any research that seek to produce sentient AI with subjective feelings, emotions, and perceptions. So the government, they have given so many points, and so I will try to explain. So one of their points will be that one of their point is that AI is naturally smarter. AI is naturally smarter, and they strive for perfection. They build, and our human world is imperfect, and so they are arguing that when we instill emotions or feelings in AI, we are giving them the chance to think of themselves, and so it will to lead to an increase in the risk of us losing control over them. Okay. So the second point also is that it is said that the danger when AI have emotions, when AI are sentient, it will diminish the purpose of human, will cause them to lose jobs. It will so when humans are frustrated, they will do an uprising against AI and whatsoever. So I would like to point out here that is that though, in the end, it's us humans who create AI. Yeah, we can develop code to. I mean, and just now you said that humans they can put selective emotions into AI, right? Which that emotion is in our hands, which is that it's like America, they wanted to create AI and stuff, right? Like they will do it, they will create it for their purposes and everything. Like, yeah, sure, we cannot control everything. That's my point, is that we cannot really control what everybody does with AI, but but that doesn't mean that other countries can do that. The government of other countries, they can regulate, they can monitor, they can create this act or law that monitor any research regarding the question of sentient AI. And so it's also said that when AI have emotions, they will feel that they're better than us, right? They will feel that we are burdened and everything whatsoever. They will want to want to get rid of us. But I would also like to reiterate the point made by the second speaker just now, which is that AI, when have emotions, they'll be able to decide what to do. When they can think when they can think on their own, they're also just like humans. They can think on two ways. They can think whether they want to really care about just themselves, or they can also care about humans. Again, it will also lead to so many possibilities of terrible things done by AI. But it doesn't mean that every AI will do that. It all depends on who created them, who instilled emotion in them and everything. And I also agree that AI, when they have emotions, they indeed work effectively. Especially AI, they have been instilled with emotions of love, compassion, care, affection. Like, yeah, like, like, uh, it does seem kind of ridiculous and frustrating, when AI become therapists to humans, right? It led humans to have this sense of separation from reality. But let's face it though, sometimes mean, it depends. Sometimes we humans, we are not necessarily looking from the perspective of emotion stuff. Sometimes with AI, especially AI that have both emotions and super logic in them, they will not only like tell us, oh, it's okay or whatever. They will also tell us, all right, you can do this. What can you do to make your life better? Because I think with the high intelligence, they can think of solutions that humans might not be able to think, right? Especially when it's not just about therapies or something. It can also be done in like famine, hunger, and stuff, right? So you also mentioned that like AI, like that macam AI, they will probably decide that, oh, in order to solve world hunger, cut the world population by half. Yes, so yes, in that might happen, but a certain AI will also a certain AI with extremely high intelligence, they will also be able to figure out will also be
AI.
able to figure out these solutions, these answers, these options that we not really be able to think.
AI.
And then I would also say that you're also saying that AI, when they have feelings, they can just manipulate us. That's true, but they can just manipulate us. That's true, but as creators, we can also like have this option. In the end, I think it all depends on how we created the AI thing. And yes, when AI they are more efficient than us, we humans will be silent and everything. But they will really think about us and everything. But but we can't control this. In the end, sentient AI is not something that have existed yet, right? We're talking about research to produce them. They're not something that have yet come into existence. So as of now, in the process of doing research, we can we can indeed think of ways that they could make this sentient AI beneficial to us. Yes, I think that's my point.
All right. Thank you so much to Brother Solihin. Now, I will give you guys time to prepare for your reply speech. Okay, everyone, your time is up. It is now time for reply speeches. So to begin, I invite Sister Afrina from the opposition side.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
All right. My speech will begin in 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Ms. Speaker. This 4 minutes is very important during in my entire life. So as the leader of the opposition, I am here to summarize our arguments and reinforce why we strongly oppose the motion that the House will prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient artificial intelligence. First, addressing ethical concerns. The government side has expressed valid ethical concerns regarding the treatment and rest of sentient AI. However, prohibiting research outright is not the solution. Instead, we propose establishing ethical guidelines and oversight to ensure responsible AI development by promoting um, ethical practices and transparency. We can we can address these concerns while continuing to explore the beneficial benefits of sentient AI. Second, in if we say that technological advancements, right? Research on sentient AI drives technological advancement and innovation in AI systems. By developing AI system, is capable of understanding and responding to human emotions. We can enhance human-machine interaction, also improve mental health support and revolutionize education. Um, these advancements have the potential to benefit society in profound ways, and prohibiting research will impede progress in these critical areas. And third, job opportunities and economic growth. Contrary to the government's argument, research on synthetic AI could create new job opportunities and drive economic growth. History has shown that technological advancement ultimately lead to creation of new industries and opportunities. By fostering innovation and entrepreneurship, we can adapt to the changing landscape of AI technology and ensure a prosperous future for all. And regarding job replacement dimension by government, it has shown that technological advancements also create new job opportunities. As automation replaces repetitive or routine tasks, it frees up human workers to focus on higher level tasks that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence, which areas where human excel over AI. So in conclusions here, based on our arguments, first, our first argument, which potential benefits for society. Second, prevent AI from going wrong and prevent misuse. So in conclusion here, prohibition research on sentient AI is counterproductive with proper planning and adaptation. Societies can navigate the transition to a future where AI technologies complement human capabilities. So based on our arguments, we strongly oppose that the motion, the House will prohibit any research that seeks to produce sentient artificial intelligence is reject. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Afrina. I now invite Brother Haziq for his reply speech.
Assalamualaikum. Am I audible?
Waalaikumsalam, yes.
All right, let's go. Okay, panel. Basically, the debate ultimately boils down to a pros versus cons debate, right? So, is it worth the pros that we might get from sentient AI against the cons that might come from developing a sentient AI? Right. First of all, let's get into the pros, right? So, the pros mentioned by the opposition side is for mental health. Right, I think this is a very weak argument, and why we as side government win on this is because they didn't address anything about how when we lose human touch, when we give all these mental health problems to an AI to solve, right? Because the idea of human touch is very important to the mental health of a person, right? You can see things like people having Japanese AI girlfriends now, right? So this is not really a society we on side government want to move towards, right? where we are just hoping for AI to solve all our mental health problems, because that is very clearly taking and diminishing away our humanity, right? Because we lose touch with humanity as a whole, because now we've just become dependent on AI. Okay, and then so that's the pros that they mentioned, which has already been shut down by the fact that we're losing human touch and can cause more mental problems actually down the line. And then the cons, right? So we mentioned many of the cons, like the robot uprising that might happen, and then job opportunities being taken away. So something mentioned by the second speaker was, oh yeah, because the AI has emotions, they might be lazy to do the job, so they'll be less efficient. Well, this is untrue, because even if they're lazy, well, humans can be lazy too. End of the day, who writes an essay faster, a human or an AI? So that's why, again, even if AIs are lazy, sentient AIs are lazy, they are still more efficient than humans. And that's why they will take over the job market. And that will cause problems like humans losing their jobs and then having to go seek therapy with an AI robot, right? Okay, so then one burden that the side opposition tried to throw at us was, why don't, since AI, the sentient AI doesn't exist yet, why don't we regulate it to make it work? Well, my second speaker and myself, we have said it multiple times why this concept of regulation doesn't work. Because the moment you give sentience to an AI, it can break all the rules and override any hard code that you put into it, because it can think for itself. For example, we have rules and regulation against stealing, right? But why do still some humans who are sentient do it, even though they can think logically? Because to them, they have subjective things, like maybe they're stealing to put food on the plate. So maybe an AI wants to wipe out a whole population to put food on the plate for others, such as Thanos. So see, sentience breaks all the regulations that you might have put in. So that is why we'd like to avoid the creation of a sentient AI in the first place. So then, I guess maybe opposition side seems to have misunderstanding of what sentient AI is. I mentioned my characterization that sentient AIs can think for themselves, whereas on opposition side, they're more to just, oh, an AI that has emotions. Well, we've already highlighted why an AI that can think for itself can go rogue and only will think of its own interests. But let's play with opposition side for a bit. They mentioned, let's say an AI just has good emotions, right? Well, they're still capable of bad emotions. And even if they have only good emotions, the harms on their side still exist. They still take away our jobs. They still take away our human touch. Again, this was brought up by my third speaker, which he emphasized a lot: benevolent versus malicious AIs, right? So obviously, if we're talking about pros and cons, malicious is obviously bad because they'll be used for things like war. Even the third speaker at the end of his speech started agreeing with us, basically like, oh yeah, well, they could be used for war and things like that. So that is obviously a con, right? But even if the AI was benevolent, right? Even if they were good, the harms still exist in the opposition world. The job opportunities are still taken away. The humans are losing touch with reality. The humans become more lazy. So as side opposition, I don't really see that they took any incentive to take down the harms that still exist on their side, even if they have an ideal AI in their world. And for that reason, we as side government believe that we should not take the risk and therefore prohibit all research into AI, sentient AI. That arrests my case. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Haziq, and thank you to all of the speakers. Dearest Judge, you have a maximum of 10 minutes to give your verbal adjudication.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So here's how I will structure my OA. First, I'll tell you what this debate is about, what I kind of expected from this debate, general feedbacks, explaining the clashes, and then lastly, the results that is based on the clashes. The reason why I'm not doing the results first is so that you guys can properly understand why each clash went to which side, right? Instead of just telling you guys outright. Like, no offense, but I also get it. Sometimes when you hear it, like, you want the likelihood of listening to which clash went to which side is like less there. Like, I do the same. So yeah. Okay, firstly,